What's up, guys? I'm Brian with Knox Garage, and I'm going to show you one of the best setups for your 4Runner. This is so you can get that off-road look, get a little bit of a lift, and then still use it as your everyday driver. So what I have right here is a 2016 4Runner, and we got a 3-inch lift on it. And how we did that was by adding the new wheels, new tires, and a stage 1 lift kit. I'm going to go over everything in detail. I'll show you some pricing. I'll talk about what it costs to either do it yourself or have somebody else do it, like a shop. And I'll also talk to you about the end result. And if there's any rubbing or something like that with those larger tires, I have another follow-up video that I'll either link here in the video or I'll put it in the description, and I'll show you how to get rid of any of that tire rub that you may get. So let's start off with the overall look. You can see here we have the wheels and tires and the lift on right now. And in total, we had exactly 3 inches of lift. This is in combination with the wheels, the tires, and the lift kit. For the wheels, I went with these RockTrix. These are 17-inch wheels. They are roughly about $200 to $210, depending on where you want to get them. I'll put links for these because I did get them on Amazon. I'll put links in the description, but you can get them from about $180 to $200 a wheel. These are a -12 offset. So if you're looking for this specific look where you get about an inch of reveal, maybe almost even, you're going with a -12 offset. These vehicles come with a positive offset stock wheel. So when you're going to the negative offset, that is going to push the wheel out. So anything positive brings the wheel in, and anything negative starts to push the wheel out. So we're going with a -12. The bolt pattern on these is 6 by 5.5, or usually it's referred to as 6 by 139.7. But again, I'll put links for the exact ones in the description, but that's what you're gonna be looking for on wheels for these types of 4Runners or even the Tacomas. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you hit that like button for me. It really does help me out. Consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's get back to the video. So these are a 17-inch wheel, -12 offset, and they're 9 inches wide. So that's gonna give us a little bit of a bubble or a bump on the tire, because the tire is going to be a 285/70 R17. This is gonna be about a 33-inch tire. The width of the tire is gonna be about 11.5 inches wide. That's gonna give us that little bit of that bow of the tire, because the wheel is 9 inches and the tire has an 11-inch width. So it's gonna kind of pull the tire in and again, give you that off-road look. Now these are a more aggressive tire. These are the mud terrains. I found the price on these anywhere between $300 to $350. So if you start kind of adding that up, you're just over $1,200 to $1,300 in tires. I have seen people buy the tires off Amazon as well, because sometimes they do have a good price. But I went and got these at Discount Tire, and they had the whole package with the warranty and all that. So if you're gonna add all that together, you're gonna be paying at least $350 a tire. Do your shopping around, but these are 285/70 R17s. This is gonna give you this exact look. Now what we're gonna combine that with is the Eibach Stage 1 lift kit. They state on their website that you're gonna get 2.5 inches of lift, and it has the rear kit also, and that's supposed to be about a 1 or 2 inch lift. And between both of those, you're gonna be able to level out the ride. So a lot of people kind of call this a leveling kit, but you are actually going to get a lift and then you're gonna level it with the back. The back is pretty simple. It's usually just blocks and then an extra shock. But in the front, we're actually gonna get new coils and struts. This is going to give you 2.5 inches of lift if you set it at its highest setting. And these are something that you can install yourself, but I would recommend that you're somewhat familiar with how these things work. You may need to get an actual coil compressor, a spring compressor. You can get something like that cheap, again, off Amazon or Harbor Freight. Just be careful when you're doing it. You're gonna have to have the vehicle up and on some jacks, and you're probably gonna need the help with a friend. But I did get this all installed at a shop, and the labor on that was about $900, and they did it in about a day. So I dropped the vehicle off and I picked it up the next day. But with this Eibach Stage 1 kit, the cost of it was right over $1,000, and the price on the website was exactly the same through the shop. So I went ahead and let the shop order it for me and install it. I took the vehicle back with the stock wheels. Then I took it over to the tire shop. I brought in my own wheels. They mounted the wheels on the tire. They installed it and then gave me the warranty. So I did some of the footwork myself to save some money for the wheels, but I had the tires and the suspension installed at a shop. Now the overall look was exactly what we wanted. We got exactly 3 inches of lift between the Stage 1 lift and the tires, because remember, the stock tires were a lot smaller. You are gonna have a 33-inch tire. If you compare that to your stock tire, you can't go numbers for numbers, because the tire and the wheel, with the weight of the vehicle, it's gonna sit a little bit. So if you combine everything together, we were able to push the wheels out and give us that little bit of tire reveal outside the fenders. We were able to get a total lift between the suspension and the tires, exactly 3 inches, and it kept the vehicle level. So this makes for a really good ride on the freeway, around town. We do still use this as our everyday driver. I think that the suspension upgrade from the Eibach was a lot better than stock. So either way, you're gonna get a better ride in my opinion, but there was very, very little rub. Only at full lock did we get a little bit of rub on one side, and then at full turn, maybe going up a driveway, we had a little bit of rub on the other side. So I'm doing a follow-up video showing how we solved that. It was very, very minimal trimming. It was pretty much just trimming of the fenders and removing this little plastic mud flap. But again, I have another video linked to this one showing you how to fix that. You can drive around with it and it's not going to destroy anything. Your tires aren't rubbing on any metal. But if you hear that clicking of it hitting the plastic, I know some people want to get rid of that. So I do have a video showing you how to solve that. So overall cost for this whole entire setup, we're about $350 per tire. Times that times 4, we're at about $1,020, $1,050 for the suspension. And then we go ahead and pay the labor for the install on that. That was about $900. The wheels, I'll say we paid about $200 per wheel. So I can't really do all the math right now, but I'll put it here on the screen for you guys. This is the total cost for me out of pocket, and that is me buying the wheels, but pretty much having all the shops do the rest of the work. It was really nice because I could kind of set it and forget it, pick it up the next day, and I was done. But if you do like to do this stuff yourself, it's definitely something you can do. Do a little bit of research online if you need to before you jump into it, or just bite the bullet and pay a little bit of labor, make sure it's done right. They also usually kind of warranty their work. So just something to consider, but I wanted to share it with all of you guys because this is, I think, the best setup for these 4Runners. Unless you're gonna start going to a mid or long travel kit, this is perfect for the everyday driver, but it still has a cool enough or aggressive enough look with the mud terrain and the wheel offset to kind of still make people kind of look and ask. But we use it for the family. We drive around town, we travel with it. It's a great ride. We've had no problems at all. So if you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below. If you have any other advice or tips, again, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you guys. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next build.